is a video from inside my coaching program at Creators Lab where I teach these founders of ecom brands what the Andromeda update actually means for them and why they need to be focusing on making highly diverse ad creative. Hope you enjoy.
Actually, before we even get into the update, I'm gonna explain to you like why this update is very important right now. So, do you guys know like supply and demand in economics?
Yeah.
So the moment we have, you have creative like videos that people watch, whether that's short form content, whether that's like reels, whatever, and you have viewers, right? You have people that actually like view the content. Right now, like we're at a unprecedented time what is actually more creative. There's more content than there are viewers. There's literally more videos being put out. Everyone wants to be a creator. Brands are running ads, new brands everywhere. Like things are getting so easy to do, so much easier to write scripts, so much easier to make stuff with AI, UGC, with everything. That there's actually more videos, more content out there than there are viewers of the platform. And so Meta, one of the biggest companies that of social platforms, what they decided to do was spend a lot of money on an algorithm that will help them deliver the best content to the viewers so that there's less shit people are viewing that is not good, right? Because what they want is ultimately they want users on the platform to watch content so that guys like you run ads and spend money on it. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So because of this issue, or there's more creative than there are viewers, they made this update. So what does the update actually mean? So this icon here is upload. So when you actually upload your campaign and you actually run it, you get through stage 1 of 2 stages. Stage 1 is the Andromeda stage. That's the actual algorithm itself. And it's a very simple algorithm. What it does is it firstly looks at your creative and it asks 3 questions. So let me look at some creative here. So I'm going to get, so this is a video, for example. This is a video with like one hook. So I'm going to just bring this down. Try to make this fun for you guys. So I'll look at this video and go, okay, cool. Number 1, is it diversified? Is it different? Okay. So is this different to what's already on the ad account or what you're uploading? If it's good, then great. It's going to tick this box and then it's going to check the next thing. Cool. Now I'm going to find an audience pocket for that. What does that mean? It means that let's say this is a UGC video of a man with a beard talking about how he likes using a product for his beard. Based on how the video is shot, whether the quality, the format, how the person speaks, they will find an audience pocket for that specific video. Meaning that if I do a selfie video, it will go to people who like to watch selfie videos. Because as we know, there's more creative than there are viewers. So Meta's trying to serve viewers the right content to watch rather than giving just anything to anybody. Conversely, let's say you make a high production looking video. Not only is it going to show it to who you're actually trying to target with the video, but it's going to show it to people that like to watch high production videos, which there are a lot of people that like. I like to watch high production videos on my timeline because I used to be a filmmaker. And the last thing they do is they find somebody that is going to be likely to get the objective. So whether it's leads, whether it's reach, whether it's add to carts, I don't know if you remember, whether it's sales, it will find out of the people who, let's say, like beards and watch content like that, which of those people actually shop online. So we're actually, it's kind of like going down a funnel. Like, is it diversified? Yes. Have we found people that it serves? Yes. Are they likely to make sales? Yes. Right. What that does is it makes it so your content is going through a very specialized, very smart algorithm to find your right person who's going to actually want to buy your stuff. Does that make sense? Okay. All of that to say is that algorithm is smarter than all of us. Okay. Now, once your content gets filtered through that, when you run an ad and it says processing, that's literally what it's doing. So once that's done, it goes into stage 2, which is the bidding. That's when it actually goes live and it bids against other ads in the space. Okay. And that's when it basically ranks it against competitors, and it also affects your CPMs. So if you're getting very high CPMs, it could be either one, your content is only seeing a small amount of people because it's very targeted, or it's not seeing anybody because they can't find the specific people that fit these 3 criteria. Does that make sense? Right. I'm just cleaning this up. Also, I'll send you this thing so you can have a look at it. Now, the biggest caveat is that because of this algorithm, what can happen is that it might take you a bit longer you have to spend more money for longer before you actually start seeing results because it has to go through all of these checks. It has to like actually spend money. It's going to try different pockets of audiences, and that kind of goes into Manuel, your reasoning when you change something and you make a new campaign, you're actually going for a new pocket of audiences. And so what might happen is that it'll take longer to see results, but when you do get results, they're typically exponential. They typically are very good, which is why you shouldn't touch them. So it's like imagine you're giving like a bunch of ingredients to a chef. The chef is meta. The chef's gonna start preparing. Will take a while. It's burning gas. It's burning fuel, resources. When it makes the food, then it's gonna actually give it to people. They're gonna eat and have a great time, right? And so that's where you have to be a bit more patient with the algorithm and spend a lot longer. But when you do spend, you'll make it back in what is a better targeted campaign. Does that make sense? Okay. We'll get into questions afterwards as well. So, question being, how do you actually trigger diversification? This first part. Okay. The second and third part, you can't really affect that too much because the likelihood for people that make that buy stuff online, you can't really control that as long as you're making creative that appeals to somebody. The audience pocket, that's all coming from the research. But the only thing we can really, really control is diversification. So let me show you how we control that. There's actually a few methods. The first one is you trick the algorithm. Okay. So if you go back to our ads, like typically, you guys have been conditioned to making like, one ad, one hook, one ad, another hook. In fact, our whole agency is going off this entire principle. And so before you just do this, right? So let's actually follow the process here, which is okay. If we take these two ads, I mean, run it through here. Okay. Number one, are they diversified? Are they different enough? Well, it's going to look at it and go, well, the hook's the same, but the hooks are different, but the body's the same. If this hook is just like a different text or a different B-roll, it's actually not diversified. So it's like, okay, cool. What it's going to do then, it's going to individually find which one of these two finds the audience pocket, and then individually, which one of these two is going to find somebody who's more likely for an object to make a sale. And so what happens is actually out of your two ads that you spent time making the hook for, only one of them will ever rank in Andromeda and go into the bidding process, which is why you have some ads that you're making and it don't get any spend at all. Only one does. And so you might actually be butchering your opportunity to test a new angle or a new hook because the rest of the video is actually the same. Does that make sense? Okay, so how do you actually trick the algorithm? So you can trick it, number one, by doing this. So you can make your hooks either longer. So like if this is hook one and this green one is like hook two, you can make them longer. So the rest of the video is the same, but the hook is like 10 to 20 seconds because that will fool it because it's going to go, okay, majority of the video is different. That's diversified enough. Let's send both of them through the stage. Or you do this, which is you have different hooks, but you just change the B-roll of the footage in the middle of the video. Okay. So you can test different hook angles better if you just change some of the footage in the middle of the video. That's a way to trick the algorithm to kind of trick diversification. Does that make sense? Yeah. The other version is to just follow the algorithm, just do what it says, and do what I like to call content format variety. So posting types of content that you will see online, like these two types of content is one type of variety, which is kind of the news style with like a headline and an image. Then you have like high production looking videos with nice custom subtitles, talking head videos, reacting to other content or the green screen, or QVC style where you actually have the product in hand and you're just kind of just talking about it like a QVC style thing, right? The goal being is you want to find common formats that other creators are using, right? Think about who you're really competing with. You're competing with Sally, who loves to make content. Like she has a camera, he has a camera, and they just make a lot of videos. They come up with ideas super freely. It doesn't matter if one tanks or one doesn't. They're not trying to make sales. So they're obviously going to outpace you when it comes to making good content because they're going to come up with loads of creative ideas and ways to show it. That's who you're really competing with. And so what you're going to do is you're going to find formats online that you can figure out and use. So the guys at Endure, you guys did the founder style ads. So you had was it Mia? Yeah, Mia did like one founder ad, and then you did kind of like the UGC style ad. But like something completely different, like maybe like a higher produced type of video, or maybe like you're sitting down and you're like just comparing like a taste test situation. Like those are the kind of formats that you need to be really trying. And the reason is because of this. So for each avatar, they each consume different types of formats. And if you're only focusing on, let's say you're just doing UGC, like you're basically removing a lot of potential for you to have other creative. If you're only doing statics, for example, and your statics are only like highly polished statics, it's like only focusing on one small part of the circle. So if you're doing statics, you could do, notepad style statics. You can do very like ugly ad types of statics. That's what we mean by diversity. And just for context, like each avatar like is gonna have this. So really like your market is full of avatars like these, which is why for every angle, you need to be making variety in concepts, which is why I say make 25 absolutely unique different concepts and test them on your ad account. Because you might find that one avatar, this is not UGC, but this is like taste tests. One avatar likes story time videos. One avatar likes high production type videos. One avatar might just like statics and that's it. And it does really well. And every time you load up a campaign, Meta is choosing one pocket of an audience to do a test with, which I know that's why maybe when you ran your campaign, you found people that really resonated with your ads and it was doing very well. But then when you decide to change it, it just resets everything. It's going to find a new format, a new set of people who might like a different type of format. Which is why the best thing to do is just make a fuck ton of creative, make them nice and different in terms of the format. Make sure the research is solid so that the audience pocket makes sense for your product, and that's how you actually work with the algorithm. Does that make sense? Okay, nothing crazy here, but I'll explain the behind the scenes of it, and also this trick can also help, especially for us because we do so much creative. It is sometimes really hard and really expensive to make new ads every single time. So this is one way you can kind of like change it up a little bit. Lastly, it's like, what do you actually do with winning ads? So let's say you find a winning ad. So going through the Andromeda process, before you would change the hook. Okay, does that work with the process? Does it diversify? No, not really. Okay, so we can't do that anymore. New body, right? Does the new body work? Well, new body, yeah, that can actually work because it's a completely different body. But if the hook is the same, then it won't see it as diversified so much. So you got to be careful with the body as long as you're completely changing the body. You can change the music. Nope, that's not diversified. So I would X that. And change the text. If the UGC creator is saying the same thing, but the text is different on the screen, nope, that wouldn't really make a difference. So out of these things, making new bodies is the only thing that actually stands. What we can be doing now is stuff like changing location, same script, different location. Changing the avatar, same script, different person on the visual, like different camera being used, different location. Change the creator. Oh, sorry. When I say avatar, I mean like, gym rats or the average person that likes to go to the gym. The creator might be like someone who's white to someone who's black. The format might be, like I was saying, like image, video, talking head, green screen, etc. And then the actual angle itself. As we know, like we can be looking at sugar-free versus lower calories, for example. Does that make sense? Okay, so hopefully you can see that you guys basically, and I've said this before, have to figure out how you can become better creators of content before we even consider like your products. Like I'm sure you guys have, you validated your product, people are buying it. So you've done that bit right. What you need to do is master the art of getting traffic to your products and working with the algorithm so that you actually start getting traffic that's not expensive because it's going to get more expensive and that you're not butchering your own results because you're not making enough varieties because you're just being lazy, to be honest, because it does take a lot of time and it does a lot of effort, and I understand. So hopefully that explains it. Any questions, or what questions do you guys have for me?
I mean, for the hooks, you mentioned that if you want to test the video for the hooks, just because you still want to test if you have three different hooks, which one is better, right? So you will do the after one. Let's say I create a new video tomorrow, and I want to test which hook works better. So I do this. I do half of
So
the
yeah,
video.
you would actually want to trick the algorithm. So that's what we're doing. So the reason is because let's say you just want to find out what hook does good, right? Um, if you give if you just give the different hooks for the same body, it won't push all of them through this process. They won't get spent. Whereas if you have different B-roll, like just slightly different changes in the body, most of it's the same, and the hook is different, then it will get spent, and all you have to look at is the hook rate to know whether that's the good hook rate or not,
Okay.
relative to the sales and people going to the site.
Yeah, and why is it actually like I think maybe I missed this part. Like, why is it important to get to the diversification? Why can't you just focus on point two and three? And what
Oh,
was the reasoning?
that's the exact this is what the algorithm does. This is what it's like an AI. Like what the AI does is it will scan the transcript, it will scan the visuals, it will scan it in relation to your other ads that you've loaded, and then it will where it puts the money. Because what like where when Meta spends money on a creative, what it's doing is showing it in front of people, and that is the cost. So you're paying for the view. And so it only gives creative the view if it's diversified enough. So you might put like three ads, exact same, just different hooks. Only one will get creative. Only one will get spend. The other ones might not get as much spend. And you might think, oh, like obviously this is the winner, but it's actually not. It's just the fact that they're not diversified enough. So it'll be
Yeah.
giving you the wrong signals that you might think, oh, the other hooks must be really trash. Actually, it's just the fact that they're not diversified enough.
Okay, yeah, and like you said, because there's so much content and less viewers, like Instagram just don't want to spam like the viewers with like same stuff. And
Exactly. Like it doesn't want to get a pocket of people, show them the same video with just a slightly different hook. That's not what. In fact, I have yet to see the same video with a different hook on an ad that I've seen. I usually always either see the same ad or I see a different version of the ad. And I
mm,
follow I'm like targeted by every brand, every like because I study them all the time. So like I get like sock ads and stuff like collagen for my cellulite. I'm like, I'm not even a woman, but because I interact with them, I get them. So yeah, this is a good question. This is how you would test the hooks. You basically do like this. You just change the B-roll here, hook one, hook two. They will both get the spend, and then you figure out whether this one is actually good or not. This is why having an ABO can help you force spend for creative. The only
mm,
problem with ABO is that you have to be very vigilant, and it's actually not very effective for your
yeah,
like for low spends. I don't recommend it because you have to be very vigilant, and you have to
yeah,
cut things. You might cut things before, and like maybe on the weekend you get more sales than during the week, so it can mess up. Does that
yeah.
make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. That's super helpful. Thanks, man. And one other thing you mentioned as well is like it can take the meta more time to learn what works, right? But then it's exponential, right? That's what you said as well. I think for us, for some reason, it almost feels the opposite around. It's like it first makes sales and then it's like, okay, fuck it. Like literally like it's every time it's really funny. Like every time our ads doesn't work for a day or two, I was just fucking around saying if it works. I literally turned them off for 10 minutes, turned them on, and the next day they start working again better.
So I'm curious if you had not turned them off, and the next day they also worked.
That's a good point, but they didn't work for like 3, 4 days, and like was like getting a bit pissed off, and I was like, let me just fuck it, let me just figure something out, and then they worked for some reason, and then they didn't work anymore the 2 days
Yeah,
after. So
so there is a at like $100 a day to like $500 a day spend. You do have fluctuations throughout the week. Like if these are the days of
yes,
the week, you do have like I have that in my ads. Like I had like 4 days without anything, and then like I had three calls booked on one day, for example. Um, so if you're getting early signals and then you're not getting that consistent you can build the consistency by having more creative that might get more spend in other days than others wouldn't, if that makes sense. But
uh,
you do have to wait for each creative to have that to get that spend to that you're happy to acquire a customer
yeah, that
before
makes
you
sense.
know if it's a loser or not.